All right, you're welcome back, and it's still Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. The 4th of March each year is set aside by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, as World Engineering Day, and the purpose is to celebrate engineers and innovations of engineering globally. And joining us to discuss the world of engineering, that's the celebration for this year, 2022, we have two guests. Claire?
Okay. First, let me welcome Engineer Tasiu Saad Gidari Udil. He is the President, Nigerian Society of Engineers. Engineer Udil, thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning.
We also have Engineer Chinasoku Okolie. He is Vice President, Collaboration and Linkages, Nigerian Society of Engineers. Engineer Okolie, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, ma.
All right.
All right, Engineer Tasiu, that's President of Society of Engineers. Let's begin with you. What is the theme for this year's celebration? And what is the local perspective?
Well, the theme for this year's celebration is Build Back Wise. That means we want to, the activities of engineers all over the world usually interact with the climate. In fact, the cause of climate change is the activities of engineering mostly. And we're looking back, say, okay, let us recover what we lost. So that will aid sustainability. So that is why we're calling it Build Back and this. And it's, the aim is to make sure that we implement the SDGs. And out of 17 SDGs, only 4 are not directly linked to engineering. So that's why United Nations and UNESCO declared that we should recover whatever we are doing, our design, our operations, will be thinking of how to recover the climate. And we know what the effects of climate change as we are feeling it now. So these are the reasons why this year's theme is Build Back Wise, and make sure that our designs, our thinkings, in our designs, in our operations is geared towards that.
Kingsley, it's quite interesting to hear engineers talk about sustainable development, you know, and all that. And I'm wondering, Engineer Chinasoku, the application of this, you know, to achieving Agenda 2030. In which area specifically are you building back wiser?
Well, thank you, ma. Like my president said, out of the 17 agenda of the SDGs, is only 4 that is not engineering, science, technology, and mathematics, going back to our STEM project. Now, if we know that, then we know that engineering has a lot to do in sustainable development. And what is sustainable development? Making sure that our children and our grandchildren will have a better environment when they come on. Engineering all over the world, all the countries that have moved from one point to another, made so by virtue of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Without prejudice to other professions, I think what we need to do is to get our acts right in the field of engineering, science, technology, and mathematics, because these are the places that try to lift and sustain any nation of the world. And the truth, again, is that, well, with all that is happening in the country, we know that we are getting there one day, with the recognition that is coming out, especially from the government, of engineers and engineering activities.
Engineer Tasiu, I want to repeat part of my earlier question. Yeah. How does this theme resonate with our local environment and therefore the challenges for engineers and engineering?
Yes, locally, we have Nigerian engineers involved in almost every aspect of engineering in Nigeria. And let me give you an example. The Nigerian liquefied natural gas. If you go to that industry now, you'll find out about 99% of the engineers are Nigerians. And for us in Nigeria, we are not isolated from the rest of the world. It applies, simple principles of engineering apply everywhere. The same mathematics we do is the same mathematics they do in Ukraine. The same thing they do in Saudi Arabia, in Japan. It's the same thing. So we are not isolated. It affects us in all aspects of our life. And in our own designs, we're supposed to make sure that there's sustainability. In our own waste management, we are supposed to make sure that the environment is not affected. And don't even forget that conflicts, most conflicts, come as a result of engineering activity. Most of them. Today, the water in Lake Chad is gone. It's human activity. There is a lot of climate change. There's recently the heat that is hitting us now is mostly due to emissions. When the engineer does not design, does not operate in accordance with the principles, the standards, then of course what you expect the environment to be affected. So here in Nigeria, we are not isolated from the rest of the world. We are just telling ourselves that we just have to make sure that whatever design we do, whatever way we say this machine or this system has to be maintained, it has to be done that way. That's what we are telling our colleagues. And we're telling the rest of the world. And everywhere. Today we have 24-hour World Engineering Day. 24-hour. Where activities all over the world will resonate. From Australia down to Costa Rica, where we are doing our World Engineering Summit. So we have this, as Nigerians, we are part of the ecosystem.
You know, thanks, Engineer Tasio, Engineer Collier. I would like you to also speak to this. Yes, it is one thing to be part of the global celebration of World Engineering Day. And this is not the first time we are hosting engineers on Good Morning Nigeria. But specific to sustainable development and our own national circumstance, what does this mean? You know, we can speak about engineering in broad terms, X, Y, Z. It's complaining about heat and what we are all feeling at the moment. 99% of engineers at LNG, they are Nigerians. But our refineries, we know what the state of the refineries is. So what does SDG mean in terms of engineering and adapting it, you know, to the local environment?
Yes, thank you very much. That is where we talk about adaptation, either of technology or of anything. Now, the locals, the professionals who are within a space should, as a matter of fact, adapt whatever that is accepted to their own specifics. Our own specifics now in Nigeria, my president said it, heat. In the temperate regions, it is not heat, but cold. So while we are still hooking on to the 17 SDG points, the local professionals, engineers, are the people that we now say, okay, this is how we do this one here. The LNG you talked about, my president said it too, about over 90% are engineers from Nigeria. That means that we have the enormous professionals to do our own bidding. Then taking it out from there, escalating it a little, that is where we should be allowed. Professionals should be allowed to handle their things the way that they know how to do it best, the way they are trained to do it, like their counterparts all over the world. When you go outside Nigeria, professionals are the people who are taking charge. Let us allow professionals in Nigeria to take charge. Let us allow engineers in Nigeria to take charge. By the time they take charge, we will surely see the difference. The books that, engineering books that are read are the same thing all over the world. And don't forget too that Nigerians who, primary school, secondary school, university in Nigeria, when they go outside Nigeria, you see them performing wonders, coming on top, breaking all the records there. So what does that tell us? It tells us that we are capable, but maybe our present environment, we need to do one or two things.
You know, Engineer Chinasuku, thank you. And my question will go to both of you, whoever wants to take it. I know that one of the thrusts of SDG now, you know, given the limitations of resources, is that, you know, implementing countries, you know, do so based on homegrown solutions. Now, with regards to making our climate a better place, making, you know, the environment a better place. Right now, we're trying to reduce carbon emission into the atmosphere. Nigeria has its own nationally, you know, contributions. We are trying to transit to renewable energy, and this is where engineers come in. How are we, you know, adapting the homegrown solutions, you know, and applying it to SDG goals, especially in the area of energy transition?
Okay. Luckily, I'm an energy man.
Oh.
I must tell you, there are so many homegrown solutions. There are so many research work. Our colleagues are building prototypes. The unfortunate thing is we are not the rich type. The engineers, Nigerian engineers are not rich. And I must tell you, it is difficult to get funding. And that is why this administration of ours, we just came in January, we have a vice president that is assigned on technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And we intend to seek for support from government, from private sector, to just make sure that whatever prototype we come, whatever design we come up, can be supported to be produced in an economic way. Because we can produce so many things that are not economical. You find out that you produce something in Nigeria, a cheaper one will come from China. So if you...
Or from any other country.
From any other country. So, and you find out that most of our products, our colleagues, when they develop something, they will look outside. And they will sell the patent to someone outside Nigeria, and it comes back to Nigeria. So we have the intention to engage our colleagues. We have the intention of also coming up with technology hub in our secretariat. Our secretariat is going to have a whole floor for technology hub. And we have the concepts, we're just waiting for approval by our council. And that locally, we have the research work to solve Nigerian problems. Let me give you an example. A minister challenged us, one of our colleagues who is a minister, and suggested that all these old cars we have in Nigeria, giving out soot, causing carbon emissions, can't we convert it to use gas?
Exactly.
LPG? I said, yes, he's a mechanical engineer. So we took it up. The mechanical engineers said, well, they're going to do it. Yesterday I had a meeting with a young engineer, a young mechanical engineer, and he has taken up the challenge. And I have promised that I'll use my veto, even as the president, and finance it. So all we need as Nigerian engineers is the challenge by the society that, look, we want you to solve this problem. But we'll find out that most of the time, we are seen as, well, these people are just paper engineers. We are not. We are not. We have our colleagues. We have 83 branches of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. 4 of them are outside the shores of this country. We have Glasgow, we have London, we have Manchester, we have Houston. And very soon, we are going to have Saudi Arabia. Our colleagues are there. They are running the systems there. They are part of us. They are members of Nigerian Society of Engineers.
You know, Engineer Tasio, thanks a lot. I mean, it's heartwarming that as part of green designs, some Nigerian engineers, I think University of Benin and one other Federal University of Technology, they have designed electric cars. I've seen them. That's a prototype that's working. But we have one major issue with us in Nigeria. Has to do with the durability of our dual carriageways. Yes, we can complain that there is no respect for axial load regulation. In other words, it's a truck that is supposed to convey 200 bags of cement, you find it conveying 900 bags, vehicles are overloaded, and so on and so forth. And a new road, within a matter of years, you find that the road begins to fail. Isn't that sufficient an engineering challenge to say why we are seeking to revamp our railways? Can we think of alternative designs that will ensure that our roads last longer, especially as we are also unable to immediately deal with the lack of respect for axial load regulation?
Thank you very much. I'm almost lost because the terminologies you use, I thought I was listening to an engineer speaking. But having said that, yes, the truth is that all over the world, there are challenges. And when there are challenges, that's the work of the professionals to attend to. The case of the axial loads of vehicles, especially the heavy vehicles that are transporting, yes, is a challenge. But taking it back a little, we can include that in the design. That is increasing the cost of the project. And that is why we need to separate what is economical and what is not. In most climes, those heavy materials are conveyed from one point to another by trains. We should go back to our railway systems, get them back on board, as many as possible, connecting different places, so that when we take all these heavy loads off our highways, then our highways will be better for us. Thank you.
All right, Engineer Chinasa Okooko, the Vice President, Collaboration and Linkages, Nigerian Society of Engineers. I'd like to thank you, and I know that we'll have time to engage, the professionals at other time. Let me also appreciate Engineer Tasio Saad Gidari Wudil, President, Nigerian Society of Engineers, to also congratulate you on your new position. Thank you. All right. And now, Motor Sport.